Hey my friends, welcome to day 2 of Vlogmas. I'm here with my daughter Lucy. We are starting our day bright and early in the morning, going on a little bit of an adventure, kind of searching for inspiration. What I've noticed on YouTube during Vlogmas is you get a lot of people in the mornings doing like their morning routine or trying a different Starbucks holiday drink. You're just not gonna get that here on my channel. We spend a lot of time outdoors, regardless of the weather, searching for inspiration, having adventures, just having fun outside. And so we often start our days, no matter what we have going on throughout the day, outside in some way, shape, or form. So she and I have a day at my studio today, but we are starting our day looking for a little bit of inspiration. She's got a camera, I've got a camera. We're gonna go searching for some beautiful pictures and take y'all along with us. Okay, we're back. We're back in the studio. We're back with tons of pictures. Our monthly tsunami test warning is going off right now.
I can hear it
in the background. All right, so I think what I'm actually gonna do is maybe go through some of the pictures Lucy took, some of the pictures I took, select a few of my favorites and put them to use in my art journal. It's kind of a fun way to show you all what I like to do in my inspiration gathering process and how I put it to use in my artwork. I spend a lot of time outdoors and often it's for exercise, for just getting fresh air, but I'm always looking for things that inspire me, images that I can use and just practice some of my favorite concepts and techniques. So I'm gonna see if I can pick out a few and show you all what I like to do with them. All right, so I picked out two of my favorites that Lucy took, and they are two that have kind of a trail with a lot of that beach grass. And what you're gonna notice is I printed them out low resolution in black and white. And one of my favorite ways to utilize photos like this is to actually paint over them and use them as a place to practice, explore, as well as use my own photography or Lucy's photography in my art journal. Now, I take a lot of pictures. I am taking multiple pictures every single day when I am outside, anything from pattern, texture, landscapes, color inspiration. I like to try to pull inspiration from my everyday life, and it is the easiest way to pull authenticity into your artwork. But I really actually love using the photographs in a variety of different ways. I will use them as collage elements. I will draw over them, paint over them. I will print them out high resolution on nice paper. But my favorite way to use them is what I'm sharing with you all in this video. So I have printed them out just on printer paper, and I am using Mod Podge to glue them onto the surface of my art journal. You will notice I'm using one of my cheap composition art journals that I share a lot of on my channel, and I'm just going to be gluing those to the surface. You could basically use any kind of adhesive or gel medium. This is what I have on hand, and it works really well for me, and I am just gluing it to that surface. I'm going to let it dry, and then I'm going to use these black and white low resolution photos as the beginning foundation of a very expressive paint over process that I enjoy using when I am wanting to explore, practice, maybe make use of brush strokes and see how far I can take them. I spend so much time in my work creating more illustrative style of things, lots of drawing, lots of pattern, but I'm a painter. I studied painting in college, and I love painting. I love using expression. I love playing around with color, and I love playing around with things from my everyday life. And so what I'm going to do is actually work right over the top of these photos. Even though there's a little bit of buckling, even though you can see some creases here and there within my adhesive surface when I've glued things down, painting over the top of things, adding that layer of acrylic is going to change this surface. So what I'm going to treat these photos with is just what I call expressive painting. It is making use of the movement of my hand, the speed at which I'm moving things, the direction. I'm actually wanting to transform these beautiful photographs, which are beautiful as is, into something that feels like a very expressive type of landscape painting. Now, this is not something that I share a lot of on my channel or in classes, but I have covered this a few times in different classes that I've taught, specifically some of my landscape classes or nature classes, where you're pulling from everyday life and using those photos as just the beginning foundation or beginning layer, and then painting over the top of stuff. Now, I could go really bold with my colors like I do with a lot of my work, but I actually wanted to pull color from our morning together. The sky was really gray. That beach grass was really, really bright and kind of a yellowish gold, depending on the direction you were looking at. And I wanted to play with this color combination with my painting. Often I am drawn to bold colors, lots of black, lots of bright colors, and using every color of the rainbow. I will say when I am practicing, specifically in my art journal, when I am working through new ideas, or just sitting down for a little burst of 20-minute, 30-minute creativity, I really love pulling from color palettes that I wouldn't normally use in my day-to-day artwork. And I absolutely love pulling colors from the things that are around me in my environment. I love that this time of year where we live, things are really gray, but there are these bursts of green and gold throughout our landscapes and all of the places that we walk and adventure in. And I really enjoy pulling that inspiration into my art journal, especially when I'm just exploring. I've shared so many times on my channel and in my online classes that an art journal is really a place for me to experiment, to get my ideas out, to document moments and memories. And I'm not necessarily somebody that has gravitated towards scrapbooking in the past, but I love using my own photos, my own memory keeping process in my art journal. Often I will pick some of my favorite photos and really draw, work, paint over the top of them and alter them, pull them into my style and into the surfaces of my messy, expressive journals. And this is just another way for me to really document things, to pull out some of my favorite photographs. I love using stuff that Lucy has captured because it's a fun way for me to, again, document a moment or a little place in time and use my creativity to alter those things. Now, even though I'm losing the photograph, I am gaining a brand new surface that feels more like a landscape painting. And it's often in these surfaces that I am practicing my brush work. I will often sit down with a variety of different size brushes, and I will challenge myself to really play with brush strokes, with vertical brush strokes, with brush strokes that are maybe at an angle. You can see in that sky, I've got some diagonal brush strokes. I really like to practice my own expressive process so that when I sit down to maybe teach a class or create a painting that I might share with people, I feel comfortable utilizing my tools and materials. I kind of know and feel comfortable with the movement of my hand, why I make choices here and there, and my own process over here behind the scenes is really about a lot of practice and a lot of creativity. I make tons of content. I share a lot of tutorials and inspiration, and it's really important for me to have a good understanding of how I can give advice or share tips or maybe give you ideas that you can incorporate into your own work. And I love the idea of using a photograph as something that you can work over the top of. If you're new to painting or you're new to drawing, using a photo to draw or paint over is a great way to get acclimated with maybe shapes or space, maybe the way things work within that composition in the photograph. I always like to recommend people taking their own photos, bringing them home, and messing around with your favorite materials over the top of them. It's a really great way to get acclimated, to practice, to play around with paint, maybe outside of a canvas or something that feels precious. A lot of my own work and a lot of the advice I give is really all about setting you free to feel comfortable creating and practicing. And often when you remove that quality of feeling perfect or precious, that's when the magic happens within your creative process. My own example here, that is actually why I print things out just on my desktop printer. I print it on regular old printer paper in black and white. I don't use any of my colored ink because I know I'm going to cover things up. And that is just another way for me to let go of perfection and really view and treat a surface like this as play, as experimentation and practice, as well as a way to document a memory and really pull my everyday life into my art process, specifically my art journal. So I'm going to let you all watch me finish this up. These 2 pages are going to feel quite expressive, very based in brushstrokes and color. It is truly a peek into what a lot of my mornings look like over here. I often start my day with a hike, with searching for inspiration. I head back to my studio and do a few warm-ups, get creative before I jump into a lot of the tasks that I have on my to-do list. I'm hoping you all enjoyed a peek into this little process, a peek into what it looks like to look for inspiration, and a really simple way that you can actually incorporate that into your creativity, into those art journals, and into your own creative process.